Hi everybody, this is Pam, excuse me, from Jesusjunkjournals.com, and I was working on my journal, and I'm always kind of torn about whether to tape something or not, and then I start to work and I think, well, I should probably make the video. So I went and got my phone so I could show you a couple things I'm getting ready to do. I'm putting things into my journal, and I'm going to actually, what I've done, I've made all sorts of changes and iterations. First I was going to have 3 signatures, then I was going to have 6, and then I decided 5 would be better because when I go to sew them in, it's easier, a little bit easier if you have an uneven number. So, because you can put one right in the middle and go from there. Not a big deal, but anyway. So I went ahead and sewed all but one. And here it is, here's one. And if you don't know how to do this, I'm going to explain it to you, but basically you're making a figure 8. And there is a kit on Amazon for binding, book binding. It's like $7, I think. And it comes with the linen, comes with the awl, AWL, and it comes with a package of needles in a really nice plastic tube with a stopper, so it's great. And let's see, what else comes with it? Oh, you get 2 folding bones. Here's one, and then you get a smaller curved one. And I think there's 7, and I'm gonna put the link underneath here. I've talked about it before, but since I'm doing it, I wanted to say it again. And I have a piece of foam that I got in a package. I was just using a piece of folded up paper, but Beverly told me I should use this, and she's right, it's good. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your signature, and let me get the one that I have not stitched together. These are stitched, let's see. Okay, this is the one I haven't stitched yet. So I put all my pages in, and I mean, ideally you wouldn't put all the things you're stuffing the journal with, but I was playing around with it, and I've got another thing going on here, so bear with me. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and one of them has this thick, the Expect a Miracle folio glued into it. And there's some other things back here that are kind of thick. So anyway, I find the center, and some people do a lot of, you know, they clamp everything and they do a lot of extra work. I don't do that. Their way may be better. I'm just going to show you how I do it. I take the waxed linen and I go 2 times the length of the journal and cut it, and I take a needle, and then these needles that come with it are the big, like, upholstery needles. I don't use the biggest one, I use actually one of the smaller ones that's provided with it. Thread it, get just a little bit of a tail on it. Now, it depends on, if you come through at the back, then your tails will be in the back and they'll be hidden. Or if you go through the front, the tails will be in the front, and that's fun too. If you want to tie things to it, you can make little charms and tie to it. I've done both on this one. I think I'll do a hidden one on this one. Excuse me, decided to get choked. Hang on, let me get a drink. All right, so I'm going to take my awl. I'm left-handed. I hope that doesn't mess anybody up. You make sure your pages are lined up the way you want them, this way. Some of them, like this, has this envelope, so I want to make sure that goes where I want it, which I kind of want it centered, so I'm moving it up. And then make sure you've got the fold in the middle where you want it. And I'm just gonna eyeball up the middle and press this in, and comes out the back. And take the needle, and I want it from the back because I don't want the tails to show. This is just, I just missed it right there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I think it'll be okay. And put it back through the hole. And of course, now that I'm doing a video, but that's okay because this will happen to you sometimes. And so I just kind of look through it. It's not a big deal. I find the hole wherever it is, find the hole there. So you're gonna make a figure 8. So I'm gonna pull this up and leave a little bit of a tail there. And then I'm gonna come up here and make a hole. And the only concern I have is this envelope. Most of them, you can put them wherever you want. I kind of want to make sure that envelope gets to, I think I'll do it on the bottom, so I'm not going to worry about the top part. And actually, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it because when you sew these into a signature and then you sew it into a spine, so it's going to get sewn twice, so that envelope should be fine. So I'm going to line these up, poke another hole, and when I sew it into the binding or into the spine, I move the holes a little bit so that they're not in the exact same spot. So I'm going to poke the hole here. Let's see if I got it. Okay, that one was pretty good, dead centered, I'd say. So poke it in, make a hole, take your needle, put it through. It's really easy. So again, so you've gone up, you've looped it through, gone down, you turn it over. And this is the only part I'd say be really careful about. This tail here, you want to hold it away, like hold it tight, because you're going to poke this needle into that same hole. And if you catch that thread, that can be a pain. So that's something you do not want to do. And I just wiggled it around a little bit, and there it is. And we'll see if I managed to miss that string. I hope I did. So I'm going to hold this tail and then hold this and pull them tight. And then you're ready to make the top of the figure 8, or the bottom, however you look at it. So you're going to poke one more hole. Poke it right here. Let's see if I made it. Yep. Okay. Take that needle, poke it down through there, pull it out the back, grab the tails, and then you want to pull them good and tight. Make sure your threads are tight. And then you just tie a knot. And you want to pull it, you could tie a knot anywhere along here, but pull it up here right by where the hole is, just to make it nice and neat. So, I'm going to take that needle off and tie a double knot. And you can trim them, since I'm not going to do that for any kind of decoration. It's on the back. But see, I did it double length. Some people say do it triple, but it's really a waste. So I did it double, and I had this much left. So I think that's plenty. And so now your signature's bound, okay? So that's all there is to that. So then the other thing that I was gonna show you is just, I'm going through here and I see I have a lot of pockets, and that's great, but I don't want all the pockets to be the same. So I'm trying to think of different ways to put things in. And and one thing I have here, I've got this ribbon pulled out, so I was going to show you. I had this piece of brown paper for one of the pages, and so I was going to put this inside of it and then wrap it like that. but I want something to keep it closed. And I was trying to think of something a little bit different. So I thought, well, I'm going to put and I finally, girls and boys, I learned the word, it's grommet. We had grommets where I worked. I've known the word grommet for 30 years, but I can't seem to ever say it when I want it. Grommet. So I'm going to put a grommet in with this crocodile that I guess when you open it, you'll see it. I found some ribbon, and so I was going to put the ribbon through here. And then put a piece over here and have it tie. So I need to tie a knot here. We'll put some sort of a stop on it. So, I can tie a knot in it. This is the kind of stuff you do when you're by yourself and you craft, but you know, I always feel weird because I'm doing it with a video. So, okay. And I'm gonna have to do something to this edge to dress it up. It's just a little worn out. Ooh, I think I'm going to glue that down. By the way, in case you haven't heard it on another video, Sweet Sugar Bell, it's an icing bottle, is a great thing to keep your Fabri-Tac in. It's a lot easier to squeeze, and you can get this silicone top for it, and this point, it's a lot finer point. You have to buy them separately. The Sugar Bell, Sweet Sugar Bell bottles you can get on Amazon, but the silicone caps for them you cannot get on Amazon, and you have to get them from a bakery shop. So if you Google the silicone cap, don't get the plastic ones, they're not any good. If you look up silicone caps for these, you will find them on the other place. They come with 2 bottles in a pack, and then these come 4 to a pack. So however you want to do that. Anyway, back to this. And so just need this a tie for it. So I have to think about that for a second. So if I have a piece of ribbon coming up from here, it would need to start back here. So I think what I'll do, you don't have to use an awl, you could use a needle. But since I have it laying here, let's see. So I want it to be roughly there. You can see I fly by the seat of my pants. Which is why junk journals are perfect for me, because you can't screw them up. If you make a mistake, you just keep going and do something else. Let's see if I can get that ribbon to come through there for me. Use this needle, use the eye end of it, see if I can poke it with that. So let me make sure it's long enough. If I tie a bow, a little bit more. I can always cut it off. Okay, so there's that. And so, I think I'll just cut this off. and use Fabri-Tac to glue it flat. And then, let's see how. Oh, something else I learned while I'm on this. The person talking about these bottles also said that if this gets thick, like if you get it down to here and it gets really thick, you can thin it with acetone. So you can get that fingernail polish remover that's 100% acetone, pour a little bit in it and mix it, and it'll be back to the way you want it. You can't stir it with anything with paint, like don't use a painted paintbrush handle because it will take the paint off. Gotta use a plain wood or plastic thing to stir it with, or stainless steel. And anyway, I thought that was also something good to know. Okay, so this, and I'm gonna try it. So on the back, I'm gonna use a wider one. That will kind of give it some body too. Kind of like interfacing when you sew. And this is where your folding bone comes in handy, although I've gone over this with a folding bone several times in the different places, which is the problem, I think. Okay. So this is not square at the bottom, so, and I could leave it, and I think I might leave it, but if you wanted to, if you don't like it to be like that, you could take washi tape and make the difference up and just put a band of washi tape around the bottom. So let's see. I could also stitch that if I really wanted. I think that's going to be a problem because it's been bent so many different places. I'll figure that out. When I go back through it, I see how it lays. Okay. Okay, so there's that. I took some of that sari silk and dyed it with the indigo Ken Oliver powder, and it dried, and so I poked holes in this hope thing from my kit, tied knots in it, and so I was thinking that I could just use a brad and pin it up here to the top. And so I got out my Bo Bunny brads that I was talking about. Okay, and that takes it just almost to the very bottom. And I'm also going to put a little bit of art glitter glue on it at the bottom just to hold it in place so it doesn't fall around. I don't foresee taking this out since it's pinned in there. So I'm just going to put a couple of dots of that. And then I used another piece of that on this tag. And so there it is on this side. Doesn't bother me. And so I think that will do it for this video. Okay, good grief. Thanks for watching. See you next time.